Now on CoastTV News.
Frozen Ferry, we look at another day of travel disruption across the Delaware Bay.
Plus, redistricting ruckus. The move to make Maryland a one-party state in Congress and the potential lawsuit that could block it.
Stepping into temperatures in the teens this morning, the pick of the week on the way today as we make a run of 40 degrees, but I am tracking a period of light snow overnight tonight.
In classroom cost choice, the proposed referendum in Laurel as voters will make their decision next week.
This is CoastTV News Today.
We are in our 6 o'clock hour. Good morning, I'm Matt Pensick.
Good morning, Matt. I'm Grace Eckerly. Today is Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026.
And looking forward to some of the snow and ice on the side of our roads to melt.
Hopefully, maybe. Chris is starting to tease us with this idea of 40-degree temperatures today. He does do that a little bit. He's a fantastic man and he's great at his job, but he almost gets you excited where I'm like, oh, it'll warm up to 40 degrees? To 40 degrees?
That is melting, though. That is melting temperatures.
It is melting a little bit.
Let's get more on that. Let's go right to that big tease. First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono in the Weather Center. Chris, I like 40s degree temperatures.
I know. Good morning, Matt and Grace. That's why I'm calling it the pick of the week for you, especially for you, Matt, as we take a live look into Laurel. We had a few high clouds that pushed through overnight. Right now, we're at 20 degrees in Laurel, and there's those high clouds shifting to the east, clearing skies across much of the area. A few light snow showers across western portions of Pennsylvania, Ohio, and New York. This is our Clipper system diving southward. It's going to pick up a little moisture here through the day today, but overall it's a moisture-starved system, so we're not expecting a big amount of snow as we go into the overnight. We're at 21 degrees in Milton, 26 in Bethany Beach. We're at 17 in Salisbury. Winds are calm, so that is good news. We're not seeing much of a wind chill this morning, not seeing the single-digit wind chills like we've had like virtually every morning for the last week. So temperatures are going to be getting up to around 40 by around 3 o'clock. Clouds will be increasing throughout the afternoon, and that will give way to that chance of light snow overnight. I'll have details on the timing of that, how much we could expect to see, and unfortunately another round of Arctic air lurks in that 7-day forecast. We'll talk more about that here in a few minutes.
Thank you, Chris. And our top story this morning, the cold's even keeping the Cape May Lewes Ferry from its scheduled crossings of the Delaware Bay.
CoastTV News reporter Elisa Weber is near the ferry terminal in Lewes. And Elisa, it's another day of some cancellations.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. We are still dealing with cold temperatures and the snow and ice. You can see it all around me here. It's not showing any signs of melting, and the ferry has announced more cancellations for this morning. Behind me, you can see a sign back there. It indicates that the 8:45 a.m. ferry from Lewes will be canceled, and the 7 o'clock ferry from Cape May will be canceled this morning. And this is not the first of these cancellations. The Cape May Lewes Ferry has canceled multiple operations throughout the past couple of days. On your screen right now is the scene here. As you can see, the bay is completely frozen over. It is filled with ice and snow. We spoke with the director of the ferry, who says tugboats are working to help, while ferries are normally able to break up some of that ice. This week proved to be too much. And for up-to-dates on what's going on with the ferry and when it will run again, you can check out the Facebook page as well as the ferry's website. Back to you.
Thank you, Elisa. In Lewes. Happening today, Sussex County Council is set to discuss a mega development that is looking to come to the Selbyville area. This development would bring hundreds of units to the area that you can see on your screen now. Crosswinds LLC wants to change the zoning of land on Lighthouse Road and Dickerson Road from agricultural residential to an agricultural residential district residential planned community. The proposed development, known as Crosswinds Landing, looks to bring 352 units to the area. That includes 191 townhomes, 161 single-family homes, and that's according to the developer.
Also at that meeting, a presentation on several grant requests. According to the agenda, the presentation includes the Opioid Settlement Distribution Commission, and then some of those grant requests are the Eastern Shore AFRAM Festival. They're asking for help with their Martin Luther King Day of celebration. East Sussex Public Broadcasting says it needs equipment upgrades, and Clothing Our Kids is seeking assistance with its Clothe a Kid program. Sussex County Council meets at 10 a.m.
New this morning, the Maryland Transportation Authority requesting proposals to improve protection around the main spans of the Chesapeake Bay Bridge. Officials say the project would improve existing protection on both the eastbound and westbound spans. Proposals are due in June of 2026, with an award expected in the fall. Construction is anticipated to begin in the spring of 2027. And to learn more on how to submit proposals and what the agency is looking for in a design team, you can head to the article on our website, CoastTV.com.
The new Delaware law tied to offshore wind is now officially in effect, even though the legal fight over it isn't.
Senate Bill 159 kicked in over the weekend after a judge said no to Fenwick Island's request to temporarily block it.
This law deals with large electrical substations for renewable energy projects, specifically the proposed one for the U.S. wind project. It requires allowing those substations in certain industrial areas, overriding a previous no from Sussex County. Fenwick Island and Sussex County are both suing the state over the law, and that case is still playing out in court.
We have an update to a story that we brought you on Monday. Millsboro Town Council has unanimously approved a zoning change that opens the door for food trucks to operate more easily. Following a public hearing, council members voted to amend the town code. Previously, food trucks were only permitted during festivals and events, but now they can operate year-round. The change would also allow these businesses in the Highway Commercial District.
We had several food truck vendors come in and give their feedback. And what we determined was we wanted to isolate it to the highway commercial zoning, but you have to get permission from the property owner.
This ordinance change would not permit food trucks in the downtown area of Millsboro.
We're giving you a look now at the Lewes Water Tower. Work underway to build a new one. It's going here on Jones Farm between Kings Highway and Savannah Road. And we're told crews have started welding large sections of the more than $6 million water tower. The Board of Public Works says the tower will get topped with a 1 million gallon storage tank. Get this, it'll quadruple the city's capacity. The old water tower actually will remain in service, and work is expected to finish in September.
Neighbors in the Laurel School District will be heading to the polls next week to vote on a new school referendum. If approved, it would mean a potential $14 a month increase for the average taxpayer. District officials say the added revenue would help fund staff salaries, safety and security, transportation, and student services. That referendum is scheduled for Monday, February 9th. 5
Cape May Lewes High School students, one other child, they held a Monday morning walkout along Kings Highway. They're saying this was over immigration enforcement. They carried signs protesting ICE. They also carried an upside-down American flag and a pride flag as traffic passed. A social media post, it looked like an official school graphic encouraging students to join a student body walkout as protest. Cape May Lewes School District says they did not create the post and did not support or organize the protest.
New overnight, the Maryland House of Delegates voted to pass a new congressional map. A commission appointed by Governor Wes Moore has released a map concept that would change District 1, which encompasses the entire eastern shore, by merging in heavy Democratic areas from Anne Arundel and Howard counties. The seat is held by Andy Harris, the only Republican in Maryland's congressional delegation. The issue still needs approval from the state, and the state Senate president, who is a Democrat, has voiced concerns over the idea.
Governor Wes Moore said in a statement last night, quote, "The House took an important step to strengthen our democracy and ensure Maryland's representation reflects the will of the people," end quote.
And here's what Representative Harris said a few weeks ago when the commission moved forward with the proposed changes. Quote, "The Senate president calls it objectively unconstitutional, but that didn't stop Moore from trying to save his presidential aspirations. See you in court, Wes."
DHS Secretary Kristi Noem says all officers in the field in Minneapolis are getting a body camera. Eventually, that will be the case for all immigration agents.
And it's something Democrats have been demanding as part of the effort to reopen the government. NBC's Alice Barr shows us how the announcement comes as House lawmakers worked into the evening to do just that.
The push is on today to pull the federal government out of a partial shutdown, with some federal workers furloughed once again. House Speaker Mike Johnson sounding confident he'll have the votes to change that.
We got FEMA and TSA and troop pay and everything else wrapped into this, so we've got to get the job done. The House will be in order.
The House is set to vote today on a Senate-passed package that fully funds most of the government, but the Department of Homeland Security gets just 2 weeks of funding and a tall task in that time for lawmakers to negotiate reforms to immigration enforcement, with Democrats calling for dramatic changes amid unrest over the shooting deaths of Renee Good and Alex Preddy by federal officers in Minnesota.
The American people are correctly demanding accountability. The American people want to see the mask come off.
One demand already met as the Homeland Security Secretary announced body cameras for all federal immigration officers in Minneapolis, with plans to expand that nationwide as funding allows. President Trump backing the move.
They generally tend to be good for law enforcement because people can't lie about what's happening.
While also calling on both sides to pass the funding package with no changes and promising to work together to address issues raised. Though reaching agreement on the future of ICE won't be easy, with Republicans not backing down on their immigration crackdown.
If the Democrats want to throw out these ridiculous proposals that make it harder for ICE to do their job, that's just not going to happen.
The hope now to avoid a prolonged standoff. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
The Delaware DMV is warning people about a new text scam. Fake messages are claiming people owe money for traffic or toll violations and urging them to click a link to pay by a specific deadline. The text often threatens suspension of car registration or driving privileges if payment isn't made. And according to the DMV, these messages are scams designed to steal money and gain access to personal or financial information. The agency says do not click on any links or provide any kind of information.
Seaford Police Department says they are offering a new vacation watch program for people while they are away from home. Police say it will allow those who live in the city to request officers to check in on their homes. People who are interested, they can visit the department's website to request the service, and they can get an automatic email letting them know when their home has been checked.
And we're just getting started here on this hour of CoastTV News Today.
Yeah, coming up, oystering out of work. How the frozen waters are not the only issue watermen are dealing with.
Also, Ocean City parking fines. How much fees could increase if a proposed ordinance is approved.
Still ahead, children playing at a unique preschool. We have the mission of Children's Beach House. And this morning, we're activating Chris Cam. There is First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono in the Weather Center. He has a slight increase in those temperatures. Very interested in this. We check in with Chris next.
Hope this Tuesday morning is treating you well. Del Marvin, as we take a live look into Dover. Everyone waiting for the snow and ice encasings of all the landscaping areas to melt. And some folks want some more snow, though. Want us to add on to that. 26 degrees in Dover. We're at 19 in Cambridge, 24 in Lewis. And when you take a look at the wind chill, not much of a wind chill this morning, so that is certainly good news. We have just a few high thin clouds that push through overnight. We are clear and dry, and that's the way we're going to stay for the day today. In fact, we're going to be pushing to near 40 degrees, and that is going to help melt some of that snow and ice across the area under partly cloudy skies through Lewis, Rehoboth, and Dewey Beach. Up to 41 there in Chincoteague. A beautiful afternoon, definitely the pick of the week because we are tracking a brief round of light snow overnight and more Arctic air in that 7-day forecast. My full forecast just minutes away.
Imagine not being able to tell someone what you're thinking or feeling or struggling to learn with an invisible barrier people just can't see. It's a reality for many children with communicative disabilities.
And this week's Ties That Bind Us, CoastTV's Madeline Overturf shows us how Children's Beach House in Lewis helps those children and others thrive right here on the coast.
This is Theo.
9 and 10.
That's awesome. Can I get a high five? He's just one of the preschoolers at Children's Beach House.
Jack and Julian.
Some of Theo's friends here have communicative disabilities. The classroom's a mix of students, some verbal, some not so much, but all full of that beautiful wonder only seen in children.
This one has a big net.
Kids who have a delay in speech, which is how we think about preschoolers with these kinds of problems, they learn faster from those kids who are typically developing than they do from anything we can do. And the kids who are typically developing can learn some empathy and some coping skills when they talk with kids who are different.
We learn a lot of different letters.
Preschool is just the start at Children's Beach House. There are summer camps and after-school programs through high school aimed at helping children find their voice, not necessarily literally, but emotionally and mentally too.
One of my favorite stories is a story of one of our staff members who's a social worker. She was a little 7-year-old girl when I came to work here. She's now in her early 20s, and she is serving as a family engagement coordinator and holds a social work degree. And she talks about her experience here. Not in that we solved every speech problem or challenge that she experienced, but that she learned how to cope with it, and she learned how to build relationships with people so that she could be successful.
The Children's Beach House Gala is this Saturday, raising money for the nonprofit, which also has enrichment programs like yoga and Feelings Rock. They help students of all backgrounds learn in unique and beneficial ways. But don't take it from me, take it from Joy.
What's something that you want me to tell everybody about your school that you come to every day?
My school is so fun.
In addition to those unique enrichment activities, Children's Beach House preschool program has more of the traditional learning, you would say, as well, like days of the week, our seasons, our colors, our shapes, and just for our crew today, snow predictions. I think we have some future meteorologists in the room.
And then, of course, beyond the dune is the bay, and that gives us hours of activities for kids.
A beautiful setting for a beautiful mission.
All the research says if children build relationships with their peer group and with competent, caring adults, then that is the most important protective factor we can put in place between them and all the risks that are out there in the world.
What may just be a normal day for Theo and Joy is changing lives for their peers, one craft, color, and dance at a time. For the ties that bind us, I'm Madeline Overturf.
Time is 6:21, and you're looking live at the snow-covered scene in Dover. And Chris, you are mentioning a word that we have not heard as part of your forecast, I think, for over a week now. The word is mild.
Yeah, and in fact, it's been so cold, we're calling 40 degrees mild, right? We've been just encased in ice and snow, Arctic air over the last week. Here's a live look into Laurel, 19 degrees there. Winds are calm. We're at 21 in Milton, 26. Bethany Beach, and we're at 19 degrees in Willards. The good news is it's cold, but not as cold as we've been in recent mornings with those sub-zero and single-digit wind chills, and that's all thanks to calm winds across the area. Now we have just a few high clouds filtering in across the peninsula. We're clear skies back off to the west. A little light snow across western Pennsylvania. Air is bone dry across the peninsula. This area of low pressure is going to track to our south overnight and bring us that ever so slight chance of snow through the overnight. So today is definitely the pick of the week as we push 40 degrees. Watching that weak clipper overnight, that brings a brief round of snow. I'll tell you what, if you get an inch out of this snow tomorrow, consider yourself like hitting the lottery. 38 in Lewis. We're at 40 in Georgetown today, with those clouds increasing through the afternoon and into the evening. And then there's that light snow after about midnight pushing through. Now the recent trend has been to suppress the moisture a bit further to the south. So I think the better chance of seeing any snow would be from southern Sussex County on through Maryland and Virginia. And then by Wednesday, we're looking at a little more clouds than sun and much cooler. There's that snow. Not that impressive, right? Less than an inch across the area, dusting across most areas, so you may have to brush some snow off your car Wednesday morning. 34 for our Wednesday, and we stay well below average through the end of the week, but we stay relatively dry. Arctic front is going to be pushing through Friday, giving us another chance of some light snow. The bigger story, though, behind that front is going to be the return of Arctic air. Unfortunately, we're going to be seeing highs back into the 20s. Sub-zero wind chills as we go into the weekend, unfortunately, as Arctic high pressure pushes in across the Ohio River Valley, and we're looking pretty dry. No big storm systems to deal with this weekend, unlike the last 2 weekends we've had some storms to contend with. 35 for your Friday with that late snow shower chance. We're at 24 into Saturday. Looks like a lot of people are going to be staying warm, maybe eating some chili for the Super Bowl there. 25 degrees. I have no interest in the Super Bowl besides eating. We have 27 into Monday, mostly sunny skies. and we stay pretty dry into the early part of next week. Matt.
Thanks, Chris. And for some added content as well. Hey, got some developing news here on the coast. You could pay more for parking violations in Ocean City. A proposed ordinance passed its first reading at the Ocean City Council meeting on Monday, and according to the council, this would double parking fines. As we move along here, the parking fines, they would double parking meter fines during special events in the town. The usual $50 fine would jump up to a $100 fine, and some people we spoke with, they're divided on the increase.
I just think something that's got that stiff of a penalty for just you're 10 minutes late, you're 15 minutes late, that just seems outrageous.
We understand if people are not taking care of their parking obligations, there is a penalty to be had for this.
The ordinance still needs to have a second and final reading before any changes are made.
Ocean City Council has made other changes during special events in town. One change doubled the fine for illegally parking in front of a fire hydrant during a special event, increasing it from $100 to $200. And parking rates in general also increased during special events, costing drivers an additional $1.50 compared to standard parking rates.
Up next, oystering out of work, why some watermen say the cost of going out can far outweigh any payday. CoastTV News Today is back after this.
Bitter cold and ice have shut down oystering parts across the mid-shore, keeping boats tied to the dock and watermen out of work. In Cambridge, parts of the Choptank River remain frozen, making it too risky for many to head out, even if they did want to. And watermen say this isn't just about the cold and ice. Between dangerous conditions and a tough market, the math doesn't always add up. For some, the cost of going out can far outweigh any payday.
I'd rather keep my boat tied up in the slip and make $0 than untie it, trying to go make $350 and then tear something up that's going to cost $3,500.
With ice still covering the bay and no clear timeline for relief, watermen say they're watching the weather and waiting on help from the state.
Yeah, that frozen bay does make for some picturesque photos, but yeah, it's a thorn in the side for many businesses and merchants across the area. As we take a live look in through Lewes, 19 degrees right now, and temperatures are going to be getting up to around the 40-degree mark through Ocean City and Fenwick Island. A really nice day. Winds are going to be relatively light, so we're not going to have much of a wind chill to contend with. 36 by around your lunchtime through Lewes and Rehoboth, as we have partly cloudy skies through the middle part of the day. A really nice day along the mid-shore and eastern shore. 36 Cambridge, and we're at 36 in Crisfield, as clouds will increase through the latter part of the day in through the evening. Sharon Cross, Harrington, Delaware. Congratulations on winning an umbrella from CoastTV. We'll track the light snow chances tonight and another round of some light snow by the end of the week, and then more Arctic air to talk about in the next half hour.
Thank you, Chris. After the break on CoastTV News Today, new permissions for food trucks, how these businesses could be seen in more places in Millsboro.
Also, Bay Bridge protection, the proposals for a new project in that connects the Eastern Shore.
Plus, Cape May Lewes Ferry frozen. The weather is creating travel changes. CoastTV News Today continues after the break.
Now on CoastTV News.
Renewable rules. How a Delaware law pertaining to the controversial electrical substation project in southern Sussex County is allowed to go into effect.
Frozen Ferry, we look at another day of travel disruptions across the Delaware Bay.
And water tower work, the scope of the project underway at Lewes and how it will increase water capacity.
Stepping into temperatures in the teens this morning, the pick of the week on the way today as we make a run of 40 degrees, but I am tracking a period of light snow overnight tonight.
This is CoastTV News Today.
February 3rd, 2026. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Grace.
Good morning, Matt. I'm Grace Eckerly. Thank you for being up with us.
6:32 a.m. You heard Chris just say it's the pick of the week. It's always concerning when the pick of the week, weather-wise, is a day that gets into the 40s.
We're almost delusionally optimistic about the fact that 40 degrees is going to feel warm.
You know, I walked out today, and it was cold, but because we were dealing with that single-degree temperatures, today actually felt warm.
So you're saying that 40 is the new 29? I think I've heard you say that before.
You know, I've been advocating that for years, Grace.
Well, turning now to First Alert Meteorologist Chris Mastrobono. Chris, we are looking to some warmer temperatures today.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, mild's what, 50, 60 degrees, right? That's what I would consider mild, maybe 70, right? Not 40, but when we had sub-zero wind chills like we've been dealing with over the last week, you got to take it the way, any way you can, right? 19 in Laurel. You can see the snow-covered landscape there, and temperatures are going to be rising pretty quickly here through the morning, and we had a few high clouds overnight. Still have a few cirrus clouds pushing in across the area, some light snow across western Pennsylvania. Here's our next system that's going to be pushing to our south overnight. You can see not a whole lot of moisture associated with the system, and on top of that, the air is bone dry across the peninsula. We're at 19 in Millsboro, 17 in Seaford, 20 in Georgetown, and the good news is no single-digit or sub-zero wind chills on the board this morning thanks to those calm winds. We're up to 34 by around midday. Clouds will really start to increase, I think, through the afternoon and into the evening. We're up to 40 degrees this afternoon. Some areas along the mid-shore and eastern shore, 41, 42, and then we fall to 32 by around the evening time frame, and then that light snow will arrive after midnight. We'll track the snow, how much we could expect to receive, and then, yeah, the bad news, more Arctic air by the weekend. The full 70 forecast just a few minutes away.
Thank you, Chris. And our top story this morning, the cold is even keeping the Cape May Lewes Ferry from setting sail.
Yeah, our Lisa Weber is in that area. She's in Lewis, showing us that the weather conditions have led to the cancellation of some scheduled trips. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. It is still cold, and that snow and ice, it is still sticking around here in coastal Delaware. It doesn't look like it's going anywhere anytime soon. And the ferry, they've announced more cancellations for this morning. Behind me, you can see a sign here. It says closed, and then it says the 8:45 a.m. ferry from here in Lewis is going to be canceled. And then the 7 o'clock ferry in Cape May, that's also going to be canceled due to these weather conditions. This is not the first day that the ferry has canceled all travel. This also happened starting on Saturday up until now. Take a look at your screen. This is the scene here in Lewis. You can see that bay is completely frozen over. We spoke with the director of the ferry, who says tugboats are working to help the situation. While the ferries are normally able to break up some of the ice, this week proved to be too much.
We had a shutdown in 2018. We were closed for about 8 days. And the temps were colder then, so, you know, we're hopeful that maybe it won't be like that this year, but we'll see.
And to stay up to date on if the ferry will open its operations back up, make sure you are checking its Facebook page as well as its website. Back to you.
Thank you, Elisa. In Lewis, happening today, Sussex County Council set to discuss a mega development that's looking to come to the Selbyville area. The development would bring hundreds of units to the area that you can see on your screen now. Crosswinds LLC wants to change the zoning of land on Lighthouse Road and Dickerson Road from agricultural residential to an agricultural residential district residential plan community. The proposed development, known as Crosswinds Landing, looks to bring 352 units to the area. That includes 191 townhomes, 161 single-family homes, and that's all according to the developer.
The new Delaware law tied to offshore wind now officially in effect, even though the legal fight about it isn't.
Senate Bill 159 kicked in over the weekend after a judge said no to Fenwick Island's request to temporarily block it.
The law deals with large electrical substations for renewable energy projects, including one proposed for the U.S. wind project. It requires those substations to be allowed in certain industrial areas. It overrides a previous no from Sussex County. Fenwick Island and Sussex County are both suing the state over the law. That case is still playing out in court.
New this morning, the Maryland Transportation Authority requesting proposals to improve protection around the main spans of the Chesapeake Bay Bridge. Officials say the project would improve existing protection on both the eastbound and westbound spans. Proposals are due in June of 2026, with an award expected in the fall. Construction is anticipated to begin in the spring of 2027.
New this morning, Delaware Governor Matt Meyer and the Office of Women's Advancement and Advocacy are opening nominations for the 2026 Delaware Women's Hall of Fame and the She's on Her Way Awards. The Delaware Women's Hall of Fame honors women whose lifetime achievements have left a lasting impact in Delaware. The She's on Her Way Awards recognize young women between the ages of 18 and 30 who are already making a difference in their communities. The deadline to submit nominations is April 2nd.
And an update to a story that we brought you on Monday. Millsboro Town Council has unanimously approved a zoning change that opens the door for food trucks to operate more easily. Following a public hearing, council members voted to amend the town code. Previously, food trucks were only permitted during festivals and events, but now they can operate year-round. The change would also allow these businesses in the Highway Commercial District, and this ordinance change would not permit food trucks in the downtown area of Millsboro.
From Millsboro to Lewes, let's get a look at the water tower there. Work underway to build a new one. It's going right here on Jones Farm between Kings Highway and Savannah Road. We're told that crews have started welding large sections of the more than $6 million water tower. The Board of Public Works says the tower will get topped with a 1 million gallon storage tank, which will quadruple the city's capacity. That old water tower, that's remaining in service. Overall, the work is expected to finish in September. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem says all officers in the field in Minneapolis are getting issued a body camera. Eventually, that will go for all immigration agents.
Reed Binion showing us reactions to the announcement amid the ongoing investigation into the death of Alex Preddy, who was killed at a protest in Minnesota.
They generally tend to be good for law enforcement because people can't lie about what's happening.
President Donald Trump reacting to Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem's announcement that all DHS officers on the ground in Minneapolis will be issued body cameras.
Generally speaking, I think 80% good for law enforcement.
Noem said the body camera program will be expanded nationwide as funding is available, with her department deploying cameras to DHS law enforcement across the country. This comes amid a nationwide backlash after the separate fatal shootings last month of two protesters by federal agents in Minneapolis, Renee Good and Alex Preddy.
People from all walks of life in the United States are very upset.
On Monday, a judge lifted his order requiring federal investigators to preserve evidence from the Preddy shooting scene. The judge said federal officials had assured him the evidence would be properly maintained. Also Monday, authorities in Minnesota ruled Preddy's death a homicide, meaning it was caused by another person as opposed to being an accident, suicide, natural causes, or undetermined.
As we gather here tonight, I just want to thank everybody for coming out and remembering Alex.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
This just in, today marks 156 years since the ratification of the 15th Amendment that banned U.S. states from preventing men of color from voting. Women of all races had to wait another 50 years for their right to cast the ballots, and neither constitutional amendment was enough to guarantee Black Americans could access the polls. The Voting Rights Act of 1965 that enforced the right to vote for all adult citizens.
And we have a lot more news to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, new birds at zoo. What is special about the newest additions to the Salisbury Zoo?
Also, boys basketball challenge the tough road away for one of the top high school teams in Delaware. Stay with us on Coast TV News today.
Hope this Tuesday morning is treating you well. Del Marva taking a look into Laurel, the snow-covered landscape. We've got the clear skies, sunrise at 7:05, 19 degrees in Laurel. We've seen temperatures in the 20s and lower to mid-teens. 17 Princess Anne, 19 in Cambridge. We're at 24 in Lewes. The good news is no single-digit wind chills on the board this morning. Now, we are dealing with mainly clear skies at the moment, and we're going to stay that way through the early part of the day, and then as we get in the afternoon, some clouds will be increasing ahead of a weak clipper that will bring us a brief chance of light snow overnight. So enjoy the 40-degree temperatures this afternoon as we get up to around 40 inland, 41 across the eastern shore, with those winds pretty light out of the west-southwest at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. I'll have more on the snow tonight, and you can always call our Coast TV First Alert weather phone for your latest forecast. Your full 7-day forecast just minutes away.
Salisbury Zoo is welcoming some colorful new additions, a pair of Arossery. They're named Natasha and Clint, and they're now on display in the zoo's newly renovated indoor rainforest habitat. They are relatives of the toucan bird species, and this marks the first time the species are getting care at the Salisbury Zoo.
Well, that certainly calls for celebration, Matt. Wacomico County officials say the Newland Park landfill will be temporarily closed following an investigative request from the Office of the State's Attorney. According to a county executive, the landfill campus will be closed Saturday, February 7th through Monday, February 9th, and that closure includes the landfill, the convenience center, and the brush pile. Details on the investigation have not yet been specified, but officials say there's no immediate threat to public safety.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Tonight should be a rematch for the ages. Dover boys basketball hosts Smyrna tonight on the Delmarva Sports Network's Game of the Night. And if the matchup goes anything like it did 2 weeks ago, then we are in for a treat. It was a surprisingly close game, and that's no knock to the Eagles. It's just that the Senators are undefeated against in-state opponents. Dover's only loss came to Bergen Catholic out of New Jersey. Smyrna, on the other hand, had already lost to Cape Henlopen, Caravel Academy, and Milford at that point in the season. Anyways, the Eagles kept it close on their home court, but the Senators won in the end 59-58. Dover senior Javion Dennis was the hero. He hit a game-winning floater with under 3 seconds left to secure the victory, although he only had 6 points on the day. Junior Kareem King led the way with 19. Tune in to the Delmarva Sports Network tonight at 6:30 to watch Smyrna go for revenge against Dover. I'll be on the call with Pat Cassett, and I don't know about you all, but I am very excited. That'll do it for sports. Have a great day.
And coming up tonight on DSN, you just heard all about it. It is live Henlopen Conference boys basketball when Dover hosts Smyrna. Then you can catch the final score at 10:30. You can watch that basketball game on DSN Plus along with these exclusives. 4 p.m. Red Line takes on McCain in girls basketball. Then there's boys basketball starting at 5:30. Pocomoke faces Mardella. Cambridge South Dorchester is at North Carolina. And at 6, Seaford visiting Lake Forest.
Here's the live look at Santa Clara, California, the site of Super Bowl 60. The New England Patriots and Seattle Seahawks are continuing their week in the lead up to the big game. And don't forget, the Super Bowl airs right here on CoastTV. That's Sunday, February 8th. Pregame starts at 1, kickoff at 6:30. And after all that coverage, stay tuned for CoastTV News.
If you had a rough week, you can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from CoastTV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. Sign up now for free at coasttv.com/signup and get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday.
And here's what you can look forward to this afternoon on Coast Life at 4 p.m.
Hope you're having a good day so far here along coastal Delmarva. And if you join us today at 4, here's what's coming up on Coast Life. Come hungry because we've got another delicious dish of the week for you. Also, it is Tuesday, which means we're going to be getting into a little bit more of our great debates. And we always want to hear from you. Plus, if you are a bride-to-be or you just have a dream wedding in mind, you don't want to miss the Bridal Expo that's coming to Ocean City. All of that and so much more is coming your way with Coast Life today at 4. We'll see you then.
Stepping out the door this morning, the temperatures in the teens and 20s, winds relatively calm. We're looking at Sunday clouds. The pick of the week, temperatures right around 40. A brief round of light snow overnight. I'll have more on that right after the break.
And the time is now 6:50 a.m. as we're taking a live look out into Laurel. Sunrise reveal of the day, question mark, Chris.
You got a good one there.
It's nice enough. Now, Chris, you've been mentioning the potential for a little snow tonight.
Yeah, a little pesky, maybe a few snow showers overnight. And not going to amount to much, unfortunately, or fortunately, whether you like the snow or not. As we take a live look into Dover, I know a lot of people are saying, I just can't wait for the snow to melt because it's just like a crusty ice on top of all the landscape. It was just a perfect scenario. We had snow that week. We had rain and then just bone-chilling temperatures a week straight, so just kind of encased everything. 26 in Dover. We're at 19 in Long Neck, 15 in Redden, 15 in Harrington. We're seeing our lowest temperature so far this morning at this hour. Wind chills, well, not much of a wind chill this morning. Good news there because the winds have been pretty calm through much of the overnight and through this morning. Now, we had a few clouds overnight. Those have now lifted northward. We're seeing pretty much clear skies across Delmarva. Snow showers back off to the west. We're keeping an eye on this system. You can see not a whole lot, a little light snow there across Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, and then it's a little mix there to the south, but that moisture is going to be moving in tonight. So today, the pick of the week, we push 40 degrees, watching that light snow overnight pushing into the area. Partly cloudy skies. We're at 40 Cambridge, 40 in Georgetown, 40 Vienna, 42 in Ocean Pines. So the clouds increasing through the afternoon and into the evening. And there's that round of light snow just after midnight pushing through the area. as it pushes off. It's out of here by daybreak Wednesday, in fact, so you make up a little snow there on the windshield of your car tomorrow morning, and then by Wednesday we're looking at colder conditions. So there it is, the snow, less than an inch across the area, generally about a dusting to a coating across the area. 34 for our Wednesday, more clouds than sun, mostly sunny skies through Thursday, 30, and then our next chance of some light snow comes Friday with an Arctic front, and this front's going to mean business. This is going to be the return of Arctic air as we go into the weekend. Could see some light snow as we go into the evening on Friday. Again, that system doesn't look all that big, but yeah, the Arctic air is going to be a big story, unfortunately, because we're going to be dealing with sub-zero wind chills, I think, for a period of time as we go into the weekend with those winds that are going to be picking up as that Arctic high moves in. 35, got the opening ceremonies there in Italy on Friday, 24 on Saturday. The good news is we're not going to be dealing with any snow or storms this weekend. The bad news is we're not going to be getting out of the 20s. Overnight lows in the single digits. Grace.
Thank you, Chris. Now, growth on the coast. Well, we know it's a big issue. We have growing pains because everyone wants to live here, but that comes at a cost. Roads, infrastructure, development, a loss of open space, all of that creates conflict and concerns.
CoastTV has investigated all the deep-seated issues that brought us to where we are today. Tomorrow, February 4th, 7 p.m. Join us for a 1-hour special to help you understand the price of paradise, growth on the coast. We're counting down the days to the opening ceremonies. The Winter Olympics, they're about to begin, and you can watch it here, February 6th to the 22nd on CoastTV.
And the time is now 6:53 a.m. It is time to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
Look at the one we have for this hour, Grace. Right in front of a warm fire. You know, that is a great scene. I love sitting in front of a cozy fireplace. And this pup was submitted to us by David in Frankfurt.
I was going to ask about, is this one of your hobbies?
I don't have a fireplace.
Oh,
would. It's one of those, like, if I could, I would, but I don't, so I can't.
You know what? When you win the lottery, let me know.
There you
can
go.
Get one installed, and you could be like this puppy over here. Well, we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. You can send us photos. Tell us what makes them so special. If you take a look at your screen now.
Scan that QR code, top center, get your friends to us, then watch weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature. We got one final check with First Alert meteorologist Chris Bono from some excitement here. 40-degree temperatures. Chris, we haven't said that in a while.
I know, it's been a while, and I enjoy it today because we have, unfortunately, some more Arctic air in the distance. Temperatures rising to 40 degrees. Clouds will be increasing through the late afternoon into the evening, watching for a round of light snow overnight in the pre-dawn hours of Wednesday, looking at less than an inch across much of Delmarva, and we could see another chance of some light snow Friday night, and then there's that Arctic blast over the weekend, and then we finally rebound back into the 40s a week from Wednesday.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you for joining us for CoastTV News Today.
And the Today Show is coming up next at 7 a.m.
Then we'll be back for CoastTV News midday at 11.
Don't forget to download our CoastTV News and weather apps, and have a great Tuesday morning, everybody.